Welcome to Thinking and Change, a place to share knowledge and inspire lives. In today's society, young people are increasingly facing the great challenges of loneliness and withdrawal. Loneliness is not just a problem for those without friends or relationships, but also a psychological state that can exist even in a crowd due to feeling disconnected, misunderstood, or not accepted. The choice to live in solitude is becoming more common than ever. Young people often turn inward, seeking meaning and independence within their personal worlds. So why not learn to enjoy the vibrant solitary life that I will share with you in today's video? Inspired by the book When Solitude is a Choice by Akiko Shimoju, this book will take you to new perspectives, inspiring you through real-life stories. No one wants to start life with feelings of loneliness, but sometimes solitude is a stranger who takes us to places we never dared to imagine. Solitude is also a unique journey with its own hardships that we often overlook. Sometimes, solitude is not just a dark shadow, but also a source of motivation for us to become the best version of ourselves. Solitude, although often associated with negative aspects, is also a state that many people actively choose to experience and explore themselves. The author begins by introducing the concept of solitude and emphasizing its complex origins. Solitude is not just being alone, but also a psychological and spiritual state where people feel a lack of relationships and connections with others. From the beginning, the author mentions the distinction between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is often described as an abnormal and lacking state, while solitude is a positive choice, a process of freedom and self-discovery. Solitude, according to the author, is not just a temporary state, but also a journey to understand oneself better, identify core values, and shape personal consciousness. Some reasons why people choose to live in solitude can include the need for independence and freedom, the desire to seek creativity and personal exploration, or even to avoid complex and negative relationships. The author clarifies that solitude is not an unhappy state, but can even be a great motivator to achieve independence and autonomy. The sweetness of solitude. In the harmony of solitude, there are gentle notes that lead us into a space of peace. These are moments where we don't have to share, don't have to hold on, and don't have to search. It is in solitude that we see the sweetness that the rest of life may miss. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a special adventure where we are free to immerse ourselves in our own music. In the darkness of silence, we find peace, and tears are no longer pain, but liberation. Solitude creates private memories, small but warm moments. At sunset, we can sit by the river, stroll on the soft sand without worrying about constraints. Under the flickering golden light, the feeling of solitude is no longer a haunting, but a wonderful adventure. Private gatherings with ourselves are opportunities to negotiate with the soul. There, we are both the guide and the guided. Solitude is the teacher of self-expression, a rustic flower blooming in the garden of the soul. People are often afraid of solitude because it takes away the security of relationships, but few realize that in solitude we find the strength to stand up every time we fall. It's like a gentle wave taking us into the vast sea of autonomy and strength without needing to hold anyone's hand. Solitude is not lost, but finding oneself in the midst of a bustling world. It's the green meadows where we can sit back and watch the clouds drift by. Perhaps in solitude we truly understand that sometimes we are the only ones who can heal ourselves, and that is a journey of immense love. But solitude is not easy. I do not deny that solitude brings heavy challenges. It's like a cold wind passing by, making us feel lost in a chaotic world, misunderstood, alienated, and lacking in care. Sometimes it makes us feel hurt, unable to escape in a world full of virtual relationships. People living in solitude can be drawn into a false sense of connection on social media, but behind the scenes, when they close the screen, loneliness returns, making them understand that the truth is not always shared and received. In addition, loneliness also poses health challenges. Feelings of loneliness can lead to a loss of interest in life, reduce work productivity, and increase the risk of stress and depression. The lack of communication and connection can weaken the immune system, causing poor health, and solitude sometimes makes our journey to success much more difficult. People say that unity is strength, And indeed, the lack of companions and helpers around makes the goal seem more distant. The steps heavier when there is no one to share the joy of success and the burden of failure. However, difficulties are also stepping stones for us to become stronger. Each time I overcome challenges, I feel like a persistent researcher, exploring the ultimate source of energy and strength within myself. And although the hidden corners of loneliness can hold wounds, they are also where the seeds of creativity sprout. Because when no one is around, my soul is a blank canvas waiting for new strokes that only I can create. Therefore, although difficult, solitude also brings great values, lessons that no one else can teach us. It is a never-ending adventure where we become the heroes of our own lives. Living in solitude is not boring. Life has taught me that solitude is not a disease or anything bad. Sometimes it is necessary for us to grow, understand ourselves clearly, and retain the most precious values. Each choice, whether solitary or shared, is a step towards our path. And perhaps the traces of solitude are not wounds, but the unique beauty that we carry in our hearts. If solitude is your choice, it is not only a challenge, but also an opportunity to enjoy life more fully and completely. If you know how to recognize and take advantage of these moments, a solitary life can become a meaningful and rich journey. One way to enjoy a solitary life is to evaluate yourself and find the positive aspects of solitude. Focus on the positives in personal development, explore personal interests, and identify the senses that you can experience more deeply when no one is around. In addition, a solitary life is also a time to build a relationship with yourself. You have the opportunity to learn to love and care for yourself holistically. Practice self-management of daily life, build healthy habits, and create private space for creative freedom. Enjoy the freedom and flexibility that a solitary life brings. You can decide your own plans, schedules, and workdays without facing the influence of others. This freedom brings opportunities for new experiences, new places, and new relationships to a degree that a person living in a crowd can feel. A solitary life is also a time to focus on personal development and career. You can learn, deepen knowledge, and develop skills most freely without having to worry about defeat or comparison with others. This makes a solitary life a solid journey towards confidence and independence. Finally, practice gratitude and enjoy moments of solitude. The tranquility of the morning, the feeling of freedom when immersed in a book, or leisurely meals alone can become wonderful experiences if you know how to appreciate and enjoy them. A solitary life can become a source of positive energy and motivation for you to develop every day. Feel free to share your interests, topics you'd like to explore, or stories you want to share with the community. We're eager to hear and learn from you. Let's create a positive space where we can grow and change together for the better every day.